Hey everybody, welcome. Today what we're going to do is we're going to show you the history of the financial needs analysis, and we call it the one-liner. So happy to share that with you today. You'll see on your screen we've got Reflector 4 as the software that we're doing the screencasting with, and also on the screen, so you'll see my iPad screen and you will also see the financial calculator. And if you're searching for a financial calculator, it's the 10BII is the one that we're using. So I guess I'll talk a little bit about this calculator for 2 seconds before we get into the presentation part of it, of what we do for clients. And what we like about this calculator is that you can just use everything on the top row and you can actually see the numbers that you input just above it. N is your number of compounding periods, interest is your I, present value, payment, future value. And set your calculator into payments a year of equaling 1 and into begin function. And everything you do, you've got to do it in years or you got to do it in months. And we can run some more tutorials, but you can just simply enter in 4 different things, compute the 5th, and get your answers. And you're going to watch it happen in this presentation. So everything we're talking about, you'll see it inputted in on the calculator to the left. So when we sit down with families, what we do is we show them a picture of how life works. And most of the people we sit down with are in the growth phase of life. And then people will get to a phase of life on the income side where they're going to draw down what they've saved for currently for retirement. We're going to work with, most people start working around age 20, and today we're going to go to age 65 for retirement age, and current lifespan for a lot of people is around 80, 85. So we're going to use 85 today. Using a couple where he's 30, she's 28. They've got 2 lovely kids at 8 and 6. His income right now is $60,000 a year for where he's working, and she works outside the home and brings in another $20,000. The combined income, $80,000 a year for this family, is providing them a certain amount, a certain type of a lifestyle. And so these are more conversations that you can have with them about, are you overpaid for what you do? Are you going to keep doing what you do? Are you happy with what you do? So it gets into these conversations. Next question that I'll ask them is, have you ever heard about back in my day? And most of them have, from their parents, grandparents, and so on. And what we want to do is we want to start a conversation about inflation and the cost of inflation, what's going to happen in the future, and relating it to the past. We're going to use 3% for our numbers for calculating today. And so if we just march ahead in time from age 30 right now to age 65, that's a time frame of 35 years. And what is going to happen in the next 35 years? Let me just highlight this for you. What we're doing is we're going to, on our calculator, we're going to mark $80,000 as our present value and 3% a year, and we're going to go ahead 35 years. So in the future, we're going to need to make $225,000 a year to maintain the same standard of living. Amazing. Now, does inflation stop just because you stop working? No, it doesn't. It carries on, right? What's going to happen to this family if we run this ahead another 20 years? And I think it's very powerful to show the effect of inflation going out another 20 years. So this would be 55 years total, and that would be $406,571. Now, that would give them the same lifestyle that they have of $80,000 today. Most people think that they can live on less, but again, healthcare, maybe nursing homes, extra care, travel, whatever. Most people want to live the same way or better. So, next question comes about how. How are we going to, now that you've shown these numbers, how are we going to attain this, right? What are people, do they have a current plan? So I'm just going to quickly mark these down because these are going to be points of conversation that people are going to tell you these answers, and you can kind of go through this quick little checklist, right? Most people are going to tell you that their game plan is some sort of rental home or multiple rental homes. Maybe in Canada, CPP, old age security, and social security in the US. Do people have pensions? And I'll ask them if they have a business that will provide a cash flow and carry on. And a huge one is going to be an inheritance. Are you going to get an inheritance from your grandparents or your parents? Are you expecting that? Most people, you're finding out now that that's their game plan, is they're hoping for this inheritance. Do they save any money? And what about investments? Are they investing? Do they invest through work? So on. What we're going to do now is we're going to draw a bucket underneath of the age 65, and we're going to put the word FIN number. And you can ask people if they've ever heard of a FIN number. Most people haven't. You can explain what a FIN number is. It's a financial independence number, and it's the amount of money that they would need to have working for them that would still allow them to keep the lifestyle that they have today. What we're doing an illustration. And so I'm going to just use, for simplicity's sake, a 10 times factor. And so these people would need $2,250,000 for retirement. And then you ask them, do you have that? And wait for a reply. So now that you've depressed them, let's talk about securing their lifestyle, right? They want a future that is secure. So let's take a look at, okay, where are you today? And with a 401k plan, maybe group investments, group RSP plans in Canada, savings, whatever. Let's just say this family's got $50,000 accumulated between group plans and savings. I'm going to put some numbers down here of 3%, 6%, and 9%. Question I'm going to ask them is, say, hey, if you took that 50,000, you never add another penny to it, and you went ahead 35 years from now, do you have any idea what that would grow to? And they don't, right? So, but you're going to take your financial calculator, you're going to go 35 years, and you're going to go 3%, take that 50,000 present value, adding nothing to it, that money would grow to 140,693. Okay, what would happen if it grew at 6%? Most people think that the money's going to double. And it's 384,304. And people are blown away, right? Now you can talk about Rule 72. You can talk about compound interest. At 9%, it puts them over $1 million, $1,020,698. And people are stunned. Now they start to have some hope and some light at the end of the tunnel. And next question. Would you like to know how much it would take to get you to that $2.2 million? So 2,250,000. So we're still dealing with 35 years, 3%, still at 50,000. It would take $33,000 a year divided by 12. It would take $2,822 a month at 3%. How many people can do that? It's not a reality, right? At 6% growth on money, they'd have to save $15,000 a year, or $1,316. At 9%, this blows people away. $430 to be financially independent. Most people are already doing this. They're saving $200, $300, $400 a month, and their employer's putting in. And now they get excited. What you just did is you established a financial independence number. You showed that there could be some reality to it, and now you've got the financial independence number pulling them. Instead of you trying to convince them about a financial independence number and about putting money away, you've excited them about doing that themselves. So now let's just turn this page. Let's go to the top half of the page here again and flip this conversation around. And let's talk about protecting their lifestyle if one of them doesn't come home tomorrow, right? If the husband doesn't come home tomorrow and his income was gone, what would happen? Do you have life insurance? and they're going to give you an answer of what they do or don't have. And so let's just say, for example, he has 100,000, she has 50, and they put 50 on each of the kids. He's paying $120 a month, she's paying 60, and they're paying 25 for each of the kids. Now, you can get in the conversation about how long would that money last, with funeral expenses, all the rest of that. And you can ask them if they'd like to see, approximately how much it would take. And he would need at least 10 times, because if he had 600,000 and it was growing at 10%, it would generate $60,000 a year and replace his cash flow. Same for her. She would need at least 10 times this. Same kind of factor. Again, this is not a guarantee. This is only illustrating, and a financial needs analysis will give the correct answers. But maybe we should just take a look at their current insurance and find out, hey, maybe for the same dollars you're spending now, maybe we can get 3 or 4 times as much coverage. And maybe we can get you even that 3 or 4 times the coverage for less money than you're currently spending. Would that interest you? Yes. And so there's your insurance conversation. And then you can talk about theory of decreasing responsibility and say, hey, so if we got you to 2.2 million, do you think you would need life insurance? If you had enough money for both of you to live and one passed away, do you think maybe one could get by? And you start that conversation. And so now we start talking about how over time, I'd like to get you out of insurance, build your own bucket of cash, and then your insurance needs go down because you don't have to pay an insurance company. The theory of decreasing responsibility. So hopefully this helps out a little bit, and you can see the history of what became the company's financial